Hello and welcome to Jacked Up Being Frank. I'm your season 2, episode 5. I'm your host, Jacob Leonards, alongside my co-host, Frank Areno. We've got a loaded show today. The Giants pull off a huge win over the defending Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll break down all that action, all the action from Week 6, all that action from Week 6, share our thoughts in the ALCS and the rest of the MLB postseason. To wrap it up with our annual NBA over-under predictions for every team's win total, because the NBA season is on the horizon on Tuesday. So let's get into it. I mean, the Giants' big win against Philly. I mean, I think. Do you think this means anything for the Giants? This win? I mean, of course it does, but like going forward, how big of a win is this? Because I have my opinion. I want to hear yours to bounce off of it.
I think it means a lot. I mean, nobody saw that coming. Nobody thought they were going to win. Most people were saying it'd be a close game. We both thought the Giants would be competitive. I remember saying I thought it'd be about a 10-point game. I think you were similar, but
Yeah.
that was big. I mean, it doesn't mean anything in terms of the Giants being a contender this year because they're not going to be a contender. But I think it shows a lot. I mean, you're going up against the defending Super Bowl champions. I know that the Eagles don't look like they're as good as last year, but they're still very good. They're still the defending champs. They still have a very talented roster. And they're the Giants' arch rival or one of their arch rivals within the division. So I think it's a big deal. And it's not, it matters in the short term, but it's a really big deal for the long term. Now they got to build on it, but that result, like my initial instinct is like, whoa. And it's like, all right, like the Giants really have something here. And I really think a lot was revealed in that game. And I think obviously the biggest thing is the quarterback, and that's the most important position in sports. And the Giants, really may have something really good at quarterback. We don't know for sure, but you're seeing good signs early on here with Jackson Dart. And then I think the team playing like that under the leadership and direction of Brian Dable. So if Giant fans are really excited about last week, which they are, I think they should be.
Yeah, I think this is a big win, and it's a lot. I mean, Jackson Dart, let's think about it, did a lot with. I mean, Wanda Robinson, a very good player. I mean, he whatever as him himself as a professional, definitely great performance by him. But he is not a wide receiver one. Like him being your number one option, Jackson Dart did a lot with a little, and it really. I mean, they leaned on those two rookies in Cam Scatterbo and Jackson Dart, showing that they can they can be a young team, but at the same time, they're going to win games. I think they're getting a good balance. This was a game of like this is a young team. Like this is a very big win for a team that's this young at the QB position. Like getting this win can propel them to. I mean, I think if we put up the schedule again, we could be saying they win some other games that maybe they. I mean, who knows? This really can make these young players be like, we can beat anybody. I think in a
Well,
game like this,
I
not like
would
they
temper
can.
that. I mean, I still think the Giants are going to have their ups and downs. Does this mean they'll win more games than we thought or most people thought? It's possible, but I think Giant fans need to have their expectations in line. Like the Giants are still going to have their
No, I
struggles the
mean,
rest
like,
of the
yeah,
season, and
yeah,
it's a very tough schedule. So they're not going to win many games, but I don't think that matters much. As strange as it is to say, it's really about you know the performance they put forward. It's obviously the quarterback first and foremost. But you said Scattaboo, just the development of their young players. I mean, look, if you play well, then, you have more of a chance to win. So, yeah, I mean, you want to see wins. The wins do matter. But I wouldn't get hung up on the victories and just getting into that territory where it's like you're expecting now for them to win 2 or 3 more games than you thought they were going to win. So instead
yeah.
of 3 or 4 wins or 3 or 4 wins, and all of a sudden, oh no, they could win 6 or 7. Like I'd be careful with that. I still think they're going to lose.
No, I'm just saying, like the teams like I worded it wrong. Teams like the Broncos actually have to think about like they're not going to walk into like if they don't think about the Giants the way that like the Eagles showed they didn't think about the Giants like anything. If they don't prepare like they're gonna, this is not like a team that when we thought about at the beginning of the year where they were just a team to step over, like whatever. Like I think the Broncos and other teams like that will beat the Giants, but I just feel like they definitely have to, like they have to be aware of who they have. I think it's
Yeah, I don't know if the Eagles took the Giants lightly. Like, I mean, teams get beat. I mean, maybe a little bit of it there, but it's Giants Eagles. Like, I don't see the Eagles taking the Giants lightly. I mean, they're arch rivals. It's a bitter rivalry. They can't stand one another. The fan bases hate each other. Like, I don't think it was a matter of the Eagles taking the Giants lightly. The Eagles just got beat. Like, they didn't play well, and the Giants played really well, and you got that result. It's interesting what you say about, other teams now being on guard for the Giants and maybe
not
not
like
taking them
I don't
lightly.
mean it
Like,
like
that
that.
might actually work against the Giants where now teams are more ready for them. So it could work that way too. But again, in terms of the Giants and their schedule, like they're going to lose games and they're going to lose the majority or the large majority of games. I don't think that's changing. But yeah, I mean, you like to see, a win or two more than you expected because that shows progress because the results do matter.
Yeah, the results matter, and I think that a win for the future. I mean, it definitely establishes that QB. I know, like you don't want to make it like assumptions after one game, but when you get that quarterback, as we've said a lot, and you feel confident in your quarterback, I think anything can happen in the next coming like years for your team. Like because Jackson Dart's that young. Like
Well, the
I think
quarterback isn't everything, but the quarterback is a lot of it, right? I mean, so the Giants have hope most of all because of Jackson Dart. You can talk about Scatterboo, and I know Neighbors is out for the year, but hopefully he'll be back and he'll be a big time contributor for them for a long time. But it's about the quarterback. And look, I mean, there's hope there for the New York Giants because they have a young quarterback who's showing promise. I mean, there's a long way to go. You got to see a lot more. But Giant fans should be excited about what happened last Thursday night. I mean, that's a big deal. Again, I think more for the long term. It's not going to change this season. They're not going to be anywhere close to the playoffs. But look, there's reason to be excited about the Giants. Probably should be cautious optimism, but I think Giants fans should be cautiously optimistic about where the organization is going. I know the Giants have had rough times for a while now, but there's hope there. Compare them to the other New York team, there's no hope there. But there is hope there for the Giants. And last week's game was a big deal. I mean, it was shocking. Like it was like, what? Nobody saw that. Nobody thought they'd win. I mean, they didn't only win, they lambasted the Philadelphia Eagles.
yeah, and I mean I think the quarterback play opened up everything else. I think that the defense was swarming. I like that was a team win, and that's whenever you look for hope. And I know there'll be games or later in the season where the Giants lose by 20. Like you'll look back and be like, this is a glimpse of what the long term can be with your quarterback, running back, and your defense. That I mean,
Yeah, Jack, if
you
you
see
think
that
about
pick
it, I
against
mean,
the pick against Jalen Hurts where they were driving. I mean, like timely plays, and they played perfect ball, which I mean, last week they didn't play perfect ball against the New Orleans Saints and got lit up by Spencer Rattler and lost. So
yeah, and
this
Jack,
is
honestly, like I'm going to say there's a good chance that they play at least another game like the Saints game where they just stink. I think it's going to happen, but I don't think that means fire the coach
or there isn't hope for the future. Like I would just expect that. Like they're going to go play some games where they don't play so well, and I would think they'll have at least another game, maybe in a couple where they play quite poorly, and it's going to be frustrating. But if they could play competitively in the vast majority of their games, you're likely to be competitive every game. But if they're competitive, they win some games. You see the progress from Dart consistently. You see the progress from the team overall in all the phases of the game, and you see Dable coaching them up and doing a good job for the circumstances. Well, then the season will be a success for the Giants. But again, going back to the game last week, I mean, if anybody in the NFL beat the Eagles 34-17, you'd be like, whoa, that catches my attention, whether the team was home or away. You beat the Eagles like that. I mean, any team in the NFL will be like, whoa, like, look at that team. So that's why I'm saying, like, the Giants, the way they played and winning the game like that, it's a big deal. For other teams, it'd be like, oh, this team could go to the Super Bowl. This team could make a deep run. For the Giants, it's not that. But if anybody beats the Eagles like that, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean that was a team that was clicking on all cylinders, understood the assignment, and understood that you're going to have to play perfect football, and they played perfect football. I not like you can't be, but they played as well as they possibly could, and I think they were up for the challenge, and that shows you a lot about. As I keep saying, I mean, I keep saying about a young team understanding with a young quarterback at the helm, understanding like this is like we're gonna have to play perfect football. He definitely commanded that whole entire offense.
Yeah, he did, and look, his performance is very impressive. And again, Giants fans, like, look, it's been a long time. I mean, the Giants haven't had their fans have not had much to cheer about in recent years. So it's like, look, I mean, you should be. I mean, look, cautious optimism, but it's an eye opener. I mean, again, I just look at that and I'm like, you know what, that's not something to dismiss. Like, I don't think, oh, it's a fluke and just one game. Like, no, I think they really showed something. And we're talking about playing against the Eagles. And there's teams in the NFL that are not capable of doing that, like the New York Jets. And yeah, I'm picking on them. Like, they have no chance of playing the Eagles like that. They have no chance of beating the Eagles like that. I don't even think they have a chance of beating the Eagles, period. So there's teams in the NFL where it's like, no, they're not doing that. And nobody thought the Giants were going to do that, but they did. So it's definitely eye-opening. It's definitely something to be positive about, optimistic about. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm overreacting, but I'm like, man, like, I think the Giants are going to get this thing going. Again, this year they're not
It's
going to
hard
close
with
the
the
playoffs,
schedule.
but you know what? Maybe, because the NFL, like, it's not like baseball. Some of these teams where it takes years to rebuild. Like the Giants, I mean, they could build this thing this year. Where going to next year,
They
you say, all
insert
right,
they can just insert.
we're in contention for a playoff spot in 2026. Like, I think that's realistic, and I think that's something that you should expect. Like, this shouldn't be a real long thing. It takes patience, but there is light at the end of the tunnel for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, there is, and I forgot. I lost my train of thought, but there is light, and I think that I got it. You insert Malik Neighbors next year into a team like this, and then like you see the Giants building something for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, the building blocks are there. So I don't know. I mean, you're talking about next year. Like, what are the expectations going to be going into the season? What should they be? I don't know. But my point is, like, it's not like baseball where it's, these teams, they take 5-6 years to rebuild. Like, that's not the way that it needs to be in the NFL. So the Giants, I mean, look, they have an opportunity this year to build and have this quarterback continue to gain experience and get better. the other younger players, gain experience in NFL and get better and put this thing together, and then you go into the draft, you go into, before that, the free agency and just building your team in the offseason. Like, there's no reason why, going to the next year, it's like, okay, like, we're expecting to really compete. We're expecting to be in the mix for a playoff spot. Before last week, it was we weren't talking about those things. It was like, where is this thing going? But I don't think this is an overreaction. I think a game like that, it's eye-opening. Like, that's not a fluke. You don't just do that against the Eagles.
Well, I think the biggest X factor for this season and for the Giants season was, when will Jackson Dart play? And he played early on, and that X factor has come out. And I mean, the X factor of, like, it's not just like he'll be great. I mean, no one really knew. And I think hitting on that X factor, not like that's going to win them games or anything, but like win them more games. But I think hitting on that X factor and it being Jackson Dart and him performing like this definitely gives you long-term success. I think that was the X factor for this season, and the Giants hit on it. And I think
it worked out that he became the starter earlier than was anticipated. Like, I think that's worked out. You get to see more of him. It was totally the right thing, him not to start the year, but it seemed like it was going to be later in the year that he'd come in. But I think this worked out well that he came in early on, because he's obviously going to have more experience going into next year, becoming the starter earlier this year than if he had become the starter later. So I think that worked out well. He's going to take his lumps, though. Like, he's going to struggle at times. There's going to be struggles there. So people have to be patient, and they have to expect that. Like, it's not going to be smooth sailing the whole season. He's going to take his lumps. He's going to throw his bad interceptions. He's going to make his poor decisions. But if you see that progress pretty consistently over the course of the whole season, and by the end of the year he's progressed a lot, then you really got something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be about trial and like this team, they're going to make mistakes, and I think Scadaboo put the ball on the ground against the Saints. Like, Jackson Dart threw 2 interceptions. I think he also threw 2 picks and put the ball on the, like, that's going to happen. That's why the Giants aren't going to win games, especially if they like play like that against like a team like, I mean, they have great teams coming up, so you can't play like that against the Broncos. So that's where you're kind of getting at.
The schedule is ridiculous.
Like,
you're going to Denver. You're going to Philadelphia. See, that'll be interesting next week when they play the Eagles again. Like, can they play competitively again against the Eagles?
Yeah,
that's a tough spot. Like, the Eagles are going to look for revenge in Philadelphia. Like, if the Giants get waxed in that game, it'd be disappointing, but I don't think you can make a big deal about it. Like, it's almost expected. So again, like, there's going to be these games where they just really take their lumps and they get beat pretty good.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get beat. Sorry to interrupt, but I think they're going to get beat pretty hard because of the inexperience.
But I think this week is a game that you want to see be competitive. The Broncos struggle offensively. I mean, they were brutal against the Jets offensively, a Jets defense that had been bad the whole year up until last week. So, I think the Broncos game, you want to see that be a competitive game. That would be disappointing if the Giants got blown out.
Yeah, I think games like that is where you have to be competitive. I mean, again, it could. Yeah, I think for that, yeah, you have to be competitive. But I think when you play the Eagles again and you make a few simple mistakes, they're gonna pounce on it. I think that's my biggest thing about them staying competitive is that, Jackson Dart can make some mistakes. And I mean, when you're playing a team, when you're playing any team, a Sean Payton led team in the Broncos, you're not gonna get away with that. But I do think they keep it competitive.
I think they can, and I think the expectation should be that they do. You're looking for the games on the schedule where they got a good chance of being competitive and being in it. And again, going to Denver because Denver struggles offensively and they just really struggle against the Jets. you want to see it be a competitive game. The next week against the Eagles, it's a tough spot. They got waxed there. Be
Yeah, but
disappointing, but I say no big deal. You split with the Eagles. But then I would say all the home games,
not
I think the
Niners.
expectation needs to be that you're competitive at home and that, you get a couple wins or a few wins at home. So all the home games, you need to be
No,
competitive.
they have a break. Niners and Bears. That's their only break.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's still
Niners
not
at
a
home,
break.
and
It's
again,
still
like
not a
all
break.
the home games, I mean, you should be competitive at home, and then you go to the Bears, like you should play the Bears competitively. At Lions is going to be really tough. Like if you get waxed against the Lions, again, disappointing, but not surprising at
The
all. I mean, go to
Patriots.
the Patriots, like the Patriots played
They're
well,
good, but like
but they're a
they're
team that you
yeah,
expect to play competitively against. Tough spot. I don't think the
yeah.
Giants are going to go to New England and win. But you want to see them play competitively in the game.
Commanders, they should be competitive there.
Yeah, again, all the home games and the Vikings at home at the Raiders. I mean, that's a winnable game. So the vast majority of these games, I mean, you want to see them at least competitive and pull out a few of these games.
They could beat the Niners and all the injuries and that stuff. Like, yeah, I think keep them competitive and especially at home. I mean, the Packers at home. I mean, they get blown out at home. Not they can have one blown out game at home. I think that's gonna happen.
It probably will, but again, at home, you always want to be competitive at home.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, look, it's a loaded schedule. I'm like trying to figure out where the wins are, but I think the Giants they'll win a couple more, a few more, but it's a loaded schedule. Like
keep it close.
if
At
you
least
want
you
to
have the
maximize
divisional.
wins, like you got to go to Las Vegas and beat the Raiders. I mean, it's not easy. You're going on the
Yeah, they
road.
should be. They should be close with. They should be competitive with all their divisional rivals. I mean, whatever. If they're not competitive in the second game against the Eagles, but every other divisional rival game, they should be close. And I mean, yeah, the
Yeah, at
NFC East.
Eagles, I'm kind of expecting that one to be a rough one. I think the Eagles are going to be out to take it to the Giants after what happened last week. But the rest of the division matchups need to be competitive. I mean, you have to play the Commanders competitively at home and play them a lot better than you did week one. The Cowboys, I mean, go win that game. The Cowboys defense is terrible. Um, so that's a game. The last game of the season. Probably both teams will be out of it. So the game will be meaningless. But go and play well and wrap up the season by beating the Cowboys. I mean, I think that's important for the Giants going into the offseason.
Yeah, I think that like they're gonna eke out some like.
And they owe the Cowboys after
Yeah,
losing that game in overtime a few weeks ago.
yeah, they owe them one, and they're gonna have a new quarterback to show off. Even though they're like, why do you have a new one? I mean, but yeah, I think we touched everything with the Giants. I think that that's all you can talk about. Is that they look good for the future. And I think it's the first time in a while I think the first time in a while Giants fans can feel actual hopeful. Like they're not hopeful for like they should be hopeful. Like they're not stretching when they're being hopeful. Like
Definitely, again, I think last week's game is a big deal. It's not, oh, Giants are back. It's cautious optimism, but I think you should feel a lot better about it than you did before last week's game. It's no fluke. You go play the Eagles like that, that's a big deal. So, there's hope there and there's building blocks. You have a quarterback. There's a lot of potential. You got some of these other young players against Scadaboo, Neighbors out for the year, but hopefully he comes back strong.
yeah, if you get a high
So
powered,
the Giants are in a spot where it's, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to take a lot of work and there's a lot of progression to come. They're going to take lumps this year. They're going to lose most of their games, but there's opportunity to build and there's opportunity to get things going in the right direction. And last week went a long way with that.
yeah, optimism. I think is the word. And I'm not saying cautiously because I think everybody knows they're not going to win the X amount of games like that. You should win like norm. I think they're going to lose a lot more games, but I think they all know that. So being optimistic in the long term is what the Giants fans need to feel. So let's get into baseball.
Yeah, the NLCS is gonna game 3 is gonna start in a few minutes. You got the
Yeah,
Brewers and the
so
Dodgers. Dodgers up 2-0, so they're playing in LA. That game first pitch in a few minutes.
they're at home and they're up 2-0. I mean, it looks like, as you say, it's a Dodgers World Series to lose, you feel like? Or did you? I feel like it was a Dodgers World. It's always. I think that they're right. Like they have that feeling of that they're always experienced enough to know that it's time to play. They know when it's time to get it going. And even though they had, like, for their standards, not a very not like a top postseason. I mean, not post regular season, but they were ready to go in the postseason, and they've been dominant.
Yeah, their roster's loaded. They basically coasted through the regular season. I mean, they had a lot of injuries and, kind of, just coasted through. They won the division. They won, I think, 93 games. I mean, there was more expected of them. Like, a lot of people thought they'd win 100 plus with the roster they have. But again, there were a lot of injuries there. But they won the division. They had to play the wild card round because they got the 3 seed. But, they got a very favorable opponent with the Reds, and they took care of them easily. And then they had a tough series with the Phillies, and they responded. I mean, they were down in game 1. They won that game. They held on game 2. So they won both games in Philadelphia. They got waxed in game 3 at home, and then they won that classic game last Thursday, 11 innings. I mean, the error to end the game with the Phillies pitcher. But the Dodgers were able to pull that out. They get the series win over the Phillies, and now they're in great position. They're up 2-0, and they're home game 3 today. And game 1 against the Brewers, I mean, they held on. Snell pitched an amazing game, 8 innings. Sasaki struggled in the 9th. Training came in and held on. Trinan. So, the Brewers really had an opportunity in that first game. I mean, they had bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, down 2-1. They were able to come through and either tie or win that game. So, I mean, I thought after that, with the Brewers not being able to pull that game out, that that was their chance, and the series from there was going to be controlled by the Dodgers. And then the Dodgers won convincingly in game 2. Yamamoto pitched a complete game. He was dominant. So the Dodgers have got 2 outstanding starting pitching performances from 2 ace-like pitchers, Snell, Yamamoto. They got Glasnow going today. I mean, the Dodgers are loaded. You got Ohtani, in their starting rotation.
Well, I think they have an upper hand. When I know you don't like the bullpen games, and you have an upper hand when you aren't trying to do bullpen games all the time. Like, I feel like I see like a Twitter notification or whatever it is that say, "Oh, the Brewers are having an opener," for example. Like, the Dodgers never have that, and I feel like they have 5 solid starters, maybe 6.
Well, I think the Dodgers do it in the regular season because all these teams basically do the regular season, but the Dodgers aren't doing it in the postseason. And to me, it's like, okay, I get it in the regular season from time to time, long season, injuries, giving guys extra rest, fine. But in the postseason, to me, there's no reason to do it in the postseason unless, you're just short in the starting pitching. But that shows something about your team. I mean, with the Brewers, the Blue Jays, the Cubs have done these bullpen games. I mean, I think that eventually catches up with you. And I know the Brewers in game 1 only gave up 2 runs, so you could say that their bullpen game was effective. They lost the game, but okay, fine, I'll give you that. But I just think that eventually that's going to run its course. And, today, again, the Brewers are going with an opener. Like, I'll be fair about it. Like, game 1, they went with the opener with Ashby, and then Priester, who's a starting pitcher, came in and pitched like 5 innings. I'm not sure what their plan is today, who's coming in next, but Ashby's starting again. I just think that catches up to you. And then I think when you're going up against the Dodgers, who are loaded and they're throwing out their Snell and Yamamoto and now Glasnow, and I got Ohtani, it's like you're not beating the Dodgers. So
I think Jose Quintana, Met legend, is coming in to pitch.
Yeah,
after.
and look, I get it. The Brewers are a small market team. They got to piece things together. They got the analytics that guides them with that. But I just think it runs its course, and they're just running into a team that's just better. They're running into a team that's loaded, that's the defending champions, that has vast experience. I mean, the Dodgers are far more experienced than any team left in the postseason. So, as you said, it's the Dodgers World Series to lose. And I expect them to win today. Like, I kind of expect it to be a sweep. Like, I just think I think the Brewers had a really good season, but I just think it's run its course with the Brewers, and the Dodgers are just clearly the better team.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are clearly the better team. Also, not to provide false information, they have Mizorowski going afterwards, and then they're pushing Quintana.
Okay, yeah, I get a Mizorowski's starter, but I just personally, I don't like it. Like, it's, they try to flip the lineup, so it's okay. We have an opener who's left-handed, we bring in the righty. I mean, come on, like, to me, like, if you're a good baseball team, it's like, okay, we got our guy, he's a starting pitcher, he's gonna go out there and get the job done. He's gonna go out there and dominate. He's gonna give us what we need. Then we'll bring in our bullpen, and we're gonna win that way. Like, to me, like, just that's what the better teams do. So yeah, the Brewers in the NLCS, but the Brewers faced a team, the Cubs, that did bullpen games. I mean, both teams did a bullpen game. Both teams had an opener in the deciding game in Game 5. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, it's just. Again, like, personally, I just can't stand it. I think a lot of people can't stand it, but it's also a matter of what is going to win. And the Brewers, to me, have just met their match. They didn't come through in Game 1, but even in Game 1, like, the Dodgers, they messed up big time on that crazy play. Did you see that crazy play in Game 1? The ball that was hit the deep center that went off the wall. Did you see that one?
I feel like if I.
Yeah, it was absolutely a crazy play. The Dodgers botched it. The Brewers did great on it, but, like, that cost the Dodgers. Like, they didn't score in that inning where they should have. They should have at least scored one run, maybe.
Who was the outfielder? Do you know who the outfielder was, or no?
Frelick, the center fielder for the Brewers. But anyway, like, it was a. Go look at it later, Jack. Like, it was the craziest play you ever seen. Like, I've never seen anything like it. But my point is, like, the Dodgers, they should have scored in that inning. So the Dodgers gave the Brewers a gift there. The Brewers handled it really well. But, like, again, like, the Dodgers were winning that whole game. The Dodgers dominated the game 2 nights ago. The Dodgers are just better, So, like, to me, they're going to get it done.
I feel like when you make the NLCS, you should at least have 2 to 3 guys you feel comfortable in, enough to just start, like, be an ace. You should have 2 to 3, like, you should have trust in 2 to 3 people to just go 6 innings or go 5 innings. Like, no matter what. Like, if you're making the ALCS at that point, I don't understand why you would be like
yeah, and the Brewers have been
giving special treatment to your pitcher.
Make the playoffs almost every single year in recent years, but they don't do anything. I remember the last time they were NLCS, they played the Dodgers in 2018, and they were doing this stuff. Like, it's just in the regular season for the small market teams, I get it, but it doesn't work in the postseason. It's going to run its course. So, the Brewers have met their match, and I expect this one to be a sweep. I really do. Maybe 5, but I don't think so. I think the Dodgers at home now are just going to take care of the Brewers.
So we got Blue Jays, Mariners. Blue Jays get the win after losing 2 at home. I mean, the Mariners looked really good in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Like, they looked like a team to beat. I mean, not like, the Dodgers are there, but they looked really good. Like,
well, I think the Mariners could give the Dodgers a very competitive series. And I in fact, if that's the matchup, I do think it will be a very competitive series. Like, Seattle is legit. I like the Dodgers. I think they're going to be really tough to beat. But Seattle's legit. They're a well-rounded team. They have a deep pitching staff. Rotation's good. Bullpen's good. Lineup is good. They're a poor defensive team. I worry about that. I think they're going to get through this round. but I do worry about their defense. But overall, they are a well-rounded baseball team. I think they're more well-rounded than Toronto. Their pitching is better than Toronto's. Look, credit to Toronto last night. I expected that last night. I thought Toronto's bats would break out. Their lineup is too good, not to be productive. They struggled the first 2 games at home, but they were outstanding last night. So, that was not surprising at all. Also wasn't surprising that, Toronto stepped up, won a game, narrowed it to 2-1. But I think going into tonight, you got Castillo for the Mariners. You got Scherzer for Toronto. I don't have any confidence in Scherzer. I think he's shot. Great career, first ballot Hall of Famer. But I expect the Mariners to jump on Scherzer. And look, Toronto may have success against Castillo. Like, I think Toronto's bats, will be competitive tonight. So I would not be surprised to see a high-scoring game. Like, I think Castillo will pitch well, but I could see Toronto's bats having success and then getting into the bullpen. So I kind of see tonight's game as a higher scoring game, but I like the Mariners to win tonight.
Yeah, I think the Mariners are just the more well-rounded team. Like, I think when you look at the batting order, it's just like they have a bunch of good hitters. Like Cal Raleigh, we know about him, Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, like Josh Naylor, and then you got Suarez, and then JP, this is a very, I think their lineup.
It's a good lineup. Look, I think Toronto's is better, but I think the gap between Toronto's lineup and Seattle's lineup is smaller than the gap between Seattle's pitching and Toronto's pitching. So that's why I think Seattle will win this series.
I think that plus the pitching, I think, is why they are that good. I think they have a very good pitching. Jose Castillo is good. I think Logan Gilbert's they can bring out starters and they don't have to run a bullpen game and they don't have to do any of that. So they have a upper hand in the pitching staff, definitely. And I think that's going to be big whenever, if they do play the Dodgers. Not trying to look forward too much, but if they do play the Dodgers, I mean, you have the pitching staff. Not saying that you can match up, but they have a pitching staff that can compete.
Oh, their pitching staff will be right there with the Dodgers. But I think Seattle could be, and I expect them to be very competitive against the Dodgers. If that is the World Series matchup, I think it's going to be. I expect them to be very competitive. I don't think that'll be a lopsided World Series. I think experience is really going to come into play. So I favor the Dodgers largely because of experience. But then the Dodgers are a more talented roster. They have these elite players, these future Hall of Famers on their team. They're a star-studded team. So they are a more talented team. But again, Seattle's a pretty well-rounded team. So I think that would be a highly competitive World Series. But ultimately, with the Dodgers' stars and their experience, I think they would come out on top.
Yeah, I think a series like that, you look at the pitching and you look at the batting order, and you could see that the Brewers compete, and I think that means they could take a game or two, where Cal Raleigh has a big home run and that stuff like that. They have a lineup and a pitching staff that is dominant.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, look, they have a really good team and they've gotten it done. They survived the series against Detroit. I mean, look, that Game 5 went 15 innings, but they were able to pull it out. And that oftentimes is what you need to do to get over the hump. Seattle's never been to the World Series, so they get through that really tough series against Detroit. They win 2 games that Skubal pitched, which is really impressive. I think they won 4 games against Detroit this year, regular season and postseason, that Skubal started. So that shows a lot. They could go beat Skubal, who's top 3 pitcher in baseball, extremely dominant pitcher. So, Seattle's for real, and I'm pretty confident they're gonna get to their first World Series, and then we'll see them against the Dodgers. That'd be a really good World Series matchup.
Yeah, I think I think Mariners versus Dodgers will be what the World Series is, but
Yeah, and Dodgers Blue Jays would be a really good matchup too. I think Dodgers Mariners be a better matchup, but Blue Jays Dodgers, as storylines there, would be a really good matchup. And I'll be honest with you, Jack, like I've been rooting for the Dodgers. I was going to root for the Brewers. I mean, they're a likable team. They're an underdog, but I don't want to see the bullpen stuff. I don't want to see bullpen games. I don't want to see openers. So with the World Series, like I don't want to see a team like the Brewers in the World Series. So even though I was going to root for them, underdog story, likable team, I've been rooting for the Dodgers. I'd much rather see the Dodgers in the World Series than see the Brewers throwing bullpen games in the pinnacle of Major League Baseball in the Fall Classic. I just don't want to see that.
well, guess what? That will not get you there unless you have the Dodgers batting order, but they don't. So that's why they won't get there
Yeah.
because they don't have the like. I think the only exception for that was the Dodgers last year. Like you kept thinking that they were going to catch up to them. It's going to catch up to them, but it didn't. But it's nothing to you. I mean, the Dodgers. It's the Dodgers. So
Yeah, the Dodgers are loaded. I mean, they're just different. They're loaded. The roster's absolutely loaded. Star-studded, deep, experienced. They're playing to be a dynasty. They win another championship here. I mean, they're gonna, they're in a position where they could build a dynasty here. Not easy to do these days, but they have a chance of doing that.
So you want to get in? Let's get into some basketball.
Let's do it. Why don't you take the lead on the Knicks? Give us a little bit on the Knicks.
Yeah,
And then we'll do some over-unders. So through the over-unders, the win totals, you could give us your pick over-under for each team, and then explain your pick briefly to just give us a preview of all 30 teams in the NBA, which the Dodgers are up 1-0 already.
yeah.
Mookie Betts with an RBI double after Ohtani double to lead off the bottom of the first. So Dodgers off to a good start.
So, let's get into. The new coach definitely is a big thing. I'm starting with talking with the Knicks right now. The new coach is big. Mike Brown. Open this offense. And preseason is preseason, but it kind of definitely when you have a new coach, you want to see what the games will feel like. I know preseason, but you gotta have a feeling of it. And they're moving the ball way more, and I think that's the biggest thing there. And the ball's moving, and the philosophy of the offense has changed from pushing the ball up the court. I think a lot of teams want to move the ball up transition. You saw the Pacers do that, and the Pacers are a great franchise, and they made the finals last year, and they had that same thing. And then they also, I know it was an injured thing, but they made the conference finals the year before. So they are a team that not you want to model after, but their style is what you want to be. You don't want to be a team that's super slow, methodical, which the Knicks were last season, and they were very good. But if you want to get up to that top level, you got to adapt, and then the Knicks did, and their offense looks even better. Not like it's going to be any big difference. You're still going to see Jalen Brunson with the ball in his hands and everything, but it's just that everything looks and feels better because they're easier buckets. Not everything has to be isolation and pounding the ball, which the Knicks were a lot about and last season. And it worked because you had Jalen Brunson, but that's not sustainable to beat you to be beating at the to be the best team and to be the best team they can. And that's they got to push the ball at the floor, get easier looks, get easier 3-point shots, and they are doing that. And they have the team. They built the team to do it, but they need the right coach, and they believe. And I think I'm leaning towards believing that Mike Brown's the right guy. I know the defense won't be the best, but this is not a team to be built for. They didn't bring in Carthy Towns for this team to be built around defense. This team's built around scoring, and they bring in the coach that can be about scoring and also the defense too. I think the defense intensity looks better. I think you have OG Anunoby, so that's going to be what it is. And same with Mikal Bridges. I think Mikal Bridges is a good defender, and I think OG is a great defender. So you had that wing tandem already, and you have Josh Hart off the bench. He's a pest. So you're not set with defense. You definitely want to be at least average or like 15th in the league, 14th in the league, 13th in the league, 12th in the league, about 11, 10, whatever. From that, I mean, you love to be like 5th or 4th, but that is the range. And then you also have to add that offense being number 1 or being number 2. And this team has the potential to be the number 1 offense in the league.
So is the old adage defense wins championships still in effect, or is it not in the NBA?
It is to a point because I think it is to a point because the Knicks were just pounding the ball last season. So I don't think it's a thing about defense wins championship. Mike Brown has been talking. It's not like he's just robot that's offense. I mean, the Knicks are gonna play tough and they're gonna play defense. I mean, I think defense definitely wins. I think defense wins championships, but the offense, and when the defense is tough in the playoffs, you need crisp offense. And if you're just going to be a defensive team, you're not going to win. So you're going to have to do both. You have to try to do both. And this team wasn't built for these. So I think you got to see what your team is. But I think at the end of the day, the Knicks are not going to have to. The Knicks cannot be Olay on. They cannot just let everyone score on them. That's not. No, they're going to have to clamp down on defense, especially in the playoffs when you get there. Yes, that's going to be a thing. And if the Knicks aren't playing defense, they're going to lose. And I think that's a thing that Knicks are going to think about. But that's why you bring in OG Anunoby. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing, biggest question. There's pros and cons of this, but I think that they are trying to be aggressive defensively, and I think that they're bringing that up. Like, that's not something that they're just going to throw out the window, even if they want to get better offensively. Defense, at the end of the day, is going to win you championships, and win you playoff games.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, like I go back to Thibodeau. I mean, like, do they really have better coaching now? I mean, you sound optimistic about it, but Mike Brown's going to come in. He's going to be more creative with the offense. They're going to be more offensively efficient and productive in the regular season. But is this going to get them over the hump in the playoffs? Or is it just, okay, you're going to pad the stats in the regular season, you win a few more regular season games. But when it comes time to it in the playoffs, where it's more half court, where, I know the NBA's an offensive-driven league now, but then, the defense comes more into play in the playoffs. Like, what's this going to look like come playoff time for the Knicks? Because that's what it's all about. Like, the regular season, I mean, it's whatever. Expect the Knicks to be near the top of the Eastern Conference. But, it's going to be all about come mid-April when the playoffs start. And the expectation is that the Knicks are going to be playing into June.
Well, I think it's all going to be about mid-April, yes, as you say. And I think that's true. But I think you can see where the transition works. I think it's a half-court game in the playoffs, and that's definitely the old adage. And it is a half-court game in the playoffs. But it doesn't need to be all the time. I think that's the thing. And the Pacers made the conference finals 2 years ago and the finals last year off of being a transition team. Like, not saying the Knicks have to do that, but you can see that there's a path to playing in transition in the playoffs. Like, teams have played I know it's easy to say yes, it's a half court game in the playoffs, but if the Knicks use their style and they have the players too, and they can just dominate their style. That's their style of the game, and they're going to just do it because they have the players to do it. I think that also combines in with this is our style, and we have the players to do it. I don't think they're running the style out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jack, like I get, like, we got to see this unfold. Like, again, like just personally as a fan, like I was disappointed they fired Thibodeau. Like, I think he deserves a lot of credit for how far they got last year. I know the Pacers series was disappointing, winnable series, but it wasn't like the Knicks were big favorites in that series. Like they weren't. So again, disappointment losing that, but they beat the Celtics when nobody thought going into that series they beat the Celtics. And I think the Celtics played stupidly and just them jacking threes and all that stuff. But the Knicks deserve a lot of credit for winning that series. I know Tatum got hurt, but he got hurt late in game 4. The Knicks were going to win game 4. So the Knicks were up 3-1 once Tatum got hurt. And if Tatum didn't get hurt, like the Knicks probably go on to win that series anyway. But my point is that like you had a good thing going. Now you change the head coach. Like there's risk involved with that. So I don't like Mike Brown. He has a pretty good head coaching resume. He's never won an NBA title. He went to the finals years ago with Cleveland, but LeBron carried that team, a young LeBron. So it's like I just don't know if the Knicks got better at the head coaching position. I just don't. Like, I have to see it. I haven't watched the preseason. I know you watch it and you know this stuff inside and out, but it's just the unknown. Like, I gotta see this in action in the regular season. But even like for the regular season, like again, like we're really not gonna know until the playoffs. Like, you gotta see this, year one of Mike Brown, what this looks like come playoff time. But, having said that, regular season does matter.
Yeah.
And you can watch and observe it and say, okay, like, is the coaching better?
Yeah. But
and is the team better because of the coaching change they made? So it remains to be seen. But I think the Knicks made a risky move making a change of head coach.
Well, you don't want the Knicks to score like low, like 100 every single low 100 every. Like, of course you don't. You want to see how the offense works. Like, there's a whole big thing about Mike Brown and his offense. You want to see how it works. Like, I'm not saying the regular season really matters, but it's. I think the regular season games are gonna matter to see how this team looks with a new coach. And
yeah, we just want to see it. Like, we just don't know. Like, we have to see it in action. So, as the games unfold, we'll have more to draw from. And then, on our show, we'll talk about it and, say, okay, like, this has gotten better. Maybe this has gotten worse. Like, we expect the offense to work better, but then let's see what they do defensively. So we're just going to have to watch the season unfold and assess it as it goes. And then ultimately it's going to come down to what it looks like in the playoffs.
Yeah. So we want to do some over-unders now?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'll run through it. We'll just go in alphabetical order. I got a list in front of me. The teams in alphabetical order by city, or location. Most of them are cities. Some of them are states. And then you got Golden State. But yeah, let's go Atlanta Hawks. 46 and a half. So just over or under, and then briefly just why
I didn't see how many losses that is.
46 and 36 would be their record.
They bring in Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They have this. I think it's going to be all about Trae Young and what he does. They built the perfect team you possibly can around Trae Young. They bring in Porzingis. But I see them going under. I don't see them getting like 50 wins. Like, that's just not, or going close. I don't see that. But I do think they're
under. They're the Hawks.
I don't think they're gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be a bad team either. I don't think they have a very good team, and it depends on Trae Young. And I think, I think they have a very good team. These are gonna be a lot of cop outs because I'm gonna say like 43 wins, but like, I don't know. It feels like a cop. I think they do win like 44 or 45 wins. I think this is why they make the over under because
Okay, so under with the Hawks. I think that this isn't really analytical, but it's the Hawks, so I'll go under as well.
It's just a lot of wins, but I don't.
It is a lot of wins. I mean, you go over 46 and a half, you're a good team.
I think they're good, but I just think that's a lot. Like 10 games. I think that's
So how about the Boston Celtics at 40 and a half?
Um, I'm gonna go.
That sounds low.
That sounds low.
There's
Jalen
seven
Brown is
Celtics, I
really
think.
I don't know, because it's hard to really judge Jalen Brown because Jalen Brown's always been a second option, but he's really good. Like, not like Chase Tatum, but he's really good. And they
Well,
still have Derek
that's
White.
my thinking. I'm on the same page as you. They got Jalen Brown. To me, a team that has Jalen Brown, that team's going over 40.5.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
do
not
they get
saying.
Tatum back? Like there's talk of Tatum coming back later in the year.
Yeah, whatever. They'll be. Yeah. Yeah,
But
I think.
still, I think that's the way to go. It's Jalen Brown's on the team. That team's going to have a winning record.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a big season for Jalen Brown. I really do think he's really good though. Like, I don't know.
How about the Brooklyn Nets at 20.5?
What did they do? I, they're really bad. I'll go on 20 and a half. That's really bad. I think I have under. It's a lot of losses though,
It is. Well,
but they are really bad.
it's over 60 losses,
But
but
they
they
are
seem like a team that can really get to that. I'll go under with you as well on the Nets. How about the Charlotte Hornets at 27.5? I
really
couldn't name you
depend.
a player on them. Is Larry Johnson still on their team? The former Nick.
No, but I think they could go over. They don't have a big though.
And some of these teams is kind of like whatever. They're going to stink.
Yeah, they're gonna
27
win.
and a half.
They're gonna win 30 games. Okay, I'm gonna say they're
All
gonna
right.
go over, but they're gonna win 30 games. I mean, if LaMelo's really good, but we never the ankle.
Oh,
Right?
LaMelo Ball's on that team.
Yeah, and they have Miles Bridges, who's pretty good, and Brandon Miller, who I think Brandon Miller. I'm watching this season because he's a young player, but this is his time to really break out. I think he was a top 3 pick, and I think that this is his time to really break out for them. I think not like they'll win a lot more games because of that, but I think this is like they're gonna win 30 games.
How about the Chicago Bulls at 32.5?
I'll say over. I think Josh Giddey is good, and I think Kobe White. They have a good guard tandem. I think Vucevic down low, and they have Vuzelis, who could be. How many wins is that again?
32.5. So if they win 32, that'd be 50 losses.
I would say over.
Okay. Let's hold off on Cleveland. Some of these better teams, particularly in the East, let's hold off. Let's go to Dallas, 41.5.
Dallas 41.5. I want to say over, but I just 40. I'm gonna go under. I just had this. I know this is a tough one, but I don't trust Anthony Davis' health. And outside of that, I mean, they have Cooper Flag, but I just don't see that team being good unless Cooper Flag is somehow like the next great. And
I feel like Dallas is a benefit of the doubt team and franchise. I'll go over.
yeah, but I think it's all. I would say over, but it's all about Anthony Davis' health. That's why I want to go on. That's why I would go under here because
Okay.
if Anthony Davis is hurt, I don't see them because also Kyrie's hurt. I don't know when. I think it's till January, if I'm mistaken. That definitely really is big, but I'm not trying to search that up right now. But that is the big key. Expected to miss the start of the. So we expected to miss the start of this season. I'll go over now. Now I'm going to go over. I changed it because of Kyrie Irving. I think that's fine. I'm going to say they go over the window, bro.
Yeah, I think with those guys you mentioned, I mean, things have to come together in their health, but I think Dallas is a benefit of the doubt team. I go over with the Mavericks.
If Kyrie's out for longer, I would say under, but I think that if Kyrie comes back, and at least if Anthony Davis is out, you still have Kyrie, Cooper Flag, Klay Thompson, PJ. So they don't get like team's good enough to win more than like 40 games. So
How
what
about
else?
the Denver Nuggets at 53.5?
Denver Nuggets 53. How many losses is that?
53 wins would be 29 losses.
I'm gonna be conservative and say under. I think Cam Johnson's good, but I don't think that's like. I don't think that's the piece to like make them win like like so many more games. I think they're under. What were they last season?
They won 57 last year. I just looked it up.
I want to say under. I say they win 50.
I'll go with you on that.
It's a lot of wins, but
Yeah, I'll go with
they
you
did
on
get
that.
better. I mean, did they? They don't have any depth. I think that's big in the regular season. So, yeah.
How about Detroit? Very interesting team on the rise. They
Detroit
played
is
the
in,
Knicks well in the first round last year in the
feels so
playoffs.
bad. Jane Ivey is out, I think, like out again.
So their over-under's 45.5. So 45 wins would be
Jane
37
Ivey
losses.
underwent arthroscopic procedure to relieve right knee discomfort. We'll be reevaluating in 4 weeks. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know why I read that out. And it could be, but I think this is the Kay Cunningham leap. He takes a leap in his play. And they have but this team. So 45.
45.5.
I'm actually. I'm gonna say over. I think Cade takes them over a little bit. That's big season.
That makes sense. Go with Cade Cunningham. Couple wins over, but I'm with you on that. How about Golden State at 45.5? Same number.
Golden State. I'm gonna say. I think they sneaked in the playoffs, but I just don't know if it's. I'm gonna say over. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not. They're another one of those benefit of the doubt teams. You know,
I
they're
might
still
say
pretty
under
good.
because I don't know how much serious Jimmy Butler will take the regular season.
It's the Warriors still. I mean, obviously they're not what they were, but they're still the Warriors, still pretty good. I think they deserve the benefit of the doubt. So go over on that one.
But I do think there's a world where they're under and Jimmy Butler doesn't care about the regular season. And I have an old Steph Curry that really doesn't want to try, like, put in 100% effort every single game to carry the team. I could see that, but I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt, as you said, and say over.
How about a team that has a lot of pressure on them to finally break through? The Houston Rockets at 52.5.
How many? 50, 80. That's 30 losses. I think this is a team that actually makes the leap. I think this is. I'm going to say over. I think this is the team. This is the team that makes the jump. They don't have Fred VanVleet at the point guard, but they added big man depth this season. They have a boatload of that. They have Adams, Şengün, and Clint Capella. I think it's all about playoff time for them. I know it's like this is but I think they go over. I honestly think this is they break through.
They were 52-30 last year. I'll go with you that they go over in the regular season. They rack up the regular season wins, but then they come up short again in the playoffs because.
No, I mean I wasn't gonna say. I didn't say no. Well,
Yeah, I mean this isn't about the playoffs, but yeah,
I was gonna say they're gonna like.
They'll rack up the wins in the regular season.
I didn't say they're gonna come up short in the playoffs yet. I said that it's all about the playoffs for them. I think the regular season is gonna be a. They bring in Kevin Durant for big buckets in the postseason, so we'll see. So what other?
How about the Indiana Pacers at 38.5?
Don't have Tyrese Halliburton. They have Pascal Siakam. I think they take a hit. I think they're.
So 38 wins would be 44 losses. You
And they
think
don't
they're
have
going
TJ McConnell either for how long? Doesn't show. Shows me right here. They don't have TJ McConnell. He'll miss the start of the regular season. I'll say to go under.
to?
They just don't have the same team anymore without Tyrese Halliburton. He
Yeah,
was their
Carlisle gets the most out of his teams. I'll go over, slightly over.
I like Rick Carlisle a lot, but I just
They'll
not
get
really
into
to discredit
the
him. But I feel
play-in
like
tournament.
I'm not gonna try to discredit him at all. But like, it's a big piece missing Tyrese Halliburton for the whole
Oh, of
season.
course, yeah. I mean, they're shot for the season in terms of going deep in the playoffs. But again, like Carlisle, I just think of him. He'll get the most out of his team, and they'll be around 500. So I'll go over 38 and a half, and they'll be in the play-in tournament. Just kind of tread water this year. How about the Clippers? 48 and a half.
The Clippers. So they did this offseason. They have Kawhi, they have Brad Beal they bring in, and then they have Hard. So what's it, 45 or
It is 48 and a half.
I'm gonna say under. I don't I think that I don't think that Kawhi I think they go like 45. I don't think Kawhi gets managed through the regular season. I think Harden it's not enough for them to win that many games with Harden
Yeah.
and Bradley Beal.
I'll go with you on that. That makes
Yeah.
sense. How about the Los Angeles Lakers? 47 and a half.
They bring in the great DeAndre Ayton. I mean, he's the greatest center of all time, right? And he's not at all, but I'm gonna go over. I think they're missing LeBron. I'm gonna go over. Still gonna go over. I think Luka, Austin Reeves. I think they're gonna be I just have a feeling that this could be one of the teams that wins a lot, shocks people in the regular season, wins a lot more games than they should. Postseason, whatever you can think. But I think that the regular season, I think that Luka has a phenomenal season.
I'm going to go under just because I don't like them. How's that?
But my
JJ
explanation is
Redick.
fine, all right? I think that
JJ Redick's my reason. I'll go under.
but I think this is a big season for Luka. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. I think that even without LeBron, they can still run a. I mean, it's Luka Doncic. They can still run a functional offense without LeBron. They're fine.
That's a tough number, 47 and a half. I'll go under.
It's a
I'm
tough one.
anti-JJ Redick, so
It's a
I'll
tough
go
one.
under.
I think I understand people going under, but I think people forget that Luka is Luka, and I don't know. I think the defense struggles, but it's the regular season. I don't know. It's the defense good. It's a struggle, but it's the regular season. At the end of the day,
How about the Memphis Grizzlies at 40 and a half?
they lose Desmond Bain to the Magic 4.5. I'm gonna go under. I mean, Josh really good when fully healthy and he's on the court. You know what? Because of that, I'm gonna go over then. I think
Okay.
John Morant gets them over 40 wins. I think
Yeah.
40 wins is low for a team like the Grizzlies. I think they're
Yeah, with a player like Morant, I would go on the right side of 500, because 40 and a half and 41 and 41 is a 500 season. So
I think if he gets no help at all, like no one comes to produce, and but I think that like Jaren Jackson's out for the start of the season. Zach Edey is out for the start of the season. They're gonna hit. They hit the injury bug already, but I think with Morant, I think they're gonna win close games. I think that's good enough for them to. With Morant, I think he's a very clutch player. They're gonna eke out some close games, so I'll go on the good side of that.
how about the Miami Heat at 37.5.
Man, was it Tyler Hero? And Tyler Hero's out to start the season as well, recovering from ankle surgery. So it's just Norman Powell and Bam Adebayo and Wiggins, and Pressure Chu and Nick Legend. But I'll go. It's the Heat. Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, you read
I'm
my
an
mind. Spoelstra, I'll go over with Spoelstra. He always gets the most out of his teams.
I think Bam has a good season. I think Bam has a good season. I always say this every single year, but I think Bam's got to play. Bam's got to play well. And Norman Powell did pretty well when he was like the Clippers were in that time where they just had Harden, Powell. Like Powell's doing good when Kawhi was like Powell's a player that, given the keys, is weird. He's a streaky scorer, and I think they win games because of that.
How about the Milwaukee Bucks, a team that's been on the decline, has had their issues. 42.5.
I'll um I think Giannis gets them over. I just I think, and I also think this is a dry team. I think Giannis gets them over. And I think it's Giannis and just shooting. If they bring enough shooting and they bring in Miles Turner stretch the floor, they don't have that guard. Like you lose Damian Lillard, not have that guard anymore. But not like they're gonna have him anyway this season. But I think that they do pretty well. I think they do. I think they go like 44 wins.
I'll go over with Giannis. I'm with you. Minnesota Timberwolves. Do they make the leap this year? 50.5.
The Timberwolves, 50.5. Say over. This team's really good. This team's deep. Anthony Edwards is great. Randall, I think, has a good season again. They still have Gobert down low. They're just complete. Not like complete like that. Just crazy to say. They're a very deep team. They're a very deep rotation. They have a lot of players that can play. And that's big in the regular season.
I'll go with you on that, over 50.5. New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, whatever, 30.5. They got Zion Williamson, right?
Over. If Zion's healthy, then over. And they have Poole, Jordan Poole, they got traded for him. I think that he could get them a few wins. Not like he can score like 30 a few games. He's like that type of player.
How about the Sixers at 42.5?
Under again? Under? I think so. I mean, is Maxey that player where you just go? I don't know if you've gotten in that category where you just are like, you know what? They have Tyrese Maxey. I'm going to go over. But I think he can be that player this season. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under.
I'll go with you on that. They're going to be mediocre. I'll go
But
under.
I do think Tyrese Maxey is a heck of a season. That's why I'm like being like, oh, could he be that guy where you're like, okay, like screw everything. I think that they can go over because they have a player like Tyrese Maxey. But no, I don't think that right now.
Phoenix Suns 31.5.
I'll say over.
Portland Trailblazers 35.5.
Over.
San Antonio Spurs 44.5.
Do they miss on expectations? I think they do. I think they go under. Like I think this is one of the biggest ones where like a shift happens. Like this is like a tough take to say. I think they go under. I think they're a team that I hate to predict this, but they're a team that might fall under some expectations, win 42 games, win 41 games, like and not go up to expectations.
Okay. That's a tough one. I'll go under with you. The Kings, I mean, whatever, 35.5. I say whatever these teams, it's like they're going nowhere. But 35.5.
Sign Russell Westbrook.
What's that?
They signed Russell Westbrook. Doesn't matter, but cool.
Toronto Blue. Oh my God. Got baseball in the mind. Toronto Raptors, 39.5.
This one's an interesting team because they traded for Brandon Ingram last season, and now they have him this season. And they signed to a big deal. You know what? The city of Toronto, I think they get 40 wins.
Toronto, they don't care. They're focused on the Blue Jays now, and then they'll be focused on the Maple Leafs. Raptors got their title 2019. Utah Jazz, woof, 18.5.
That's really bad. Wait. That's really bad.
It's tough to pick a team under 18.5.
No, over. They have over.
I'll go over just because that's so low. It's tough to pick an.
And Markkanen's not like a terrible player. Like he's their best player, but he's like.
Washington Wizards, 21.5.
I'll go over. I mean, yeah. Team's
That's
not good at
very
all.
low number.
Team's terrible, but I'll go over.
So then the Orlando Magic, interesting team. We'll see. We'll see if they can make a run in the East.
Very interested.
The East is weak, so maybe there's an opening for them there. 51.5, high number. Orlando's 51.5.
This is when I was interested because I thought it could be from anywhere. Their over-under could be from anywhere to 47 or 46 to 51 or 52. But, yeah, they give them the 51. And I'm going to have to take the bait. I'll take the bait. I'll go over. I think that they have the team, Paolo Banchero, Desmond Bane. I think Desmond Bane is a really good player. And this team is just really good, and the East is really weak. I think they –
Yeah.
I
was leaning under, but I think the East stinks. So I think they're just going to rack up wins, and they'll be able to get over that.
And the team's good too. I don't want to say that like they'll rack up wins. Like they have a very good team there.
Yeah, well, rack up wins. Like the East is weak, so it's like all right. There's more wins there to be had. So I think it's a good play to go over.
Like if they win like 52 and 30, wherever that really land them. I mean, second seed, first seed, second seed. I don't know.
Well,
I think the Knicks win more than them.
I think it'd be at least the 3 seed.
Yeah. So I think that that's right because I think they get like about 3 seed. So yeah.
So then
that's
the
an interesting
Cleveland
game.
Cavaliers, 56.5.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win a lot because they. But I'm tempted to stay under because I do think they can win like 54 games. But I'm gonna just say over for the sake of this. Yeah, I'm gonna go over.
I'll go over too. In this Eastern Conference,
I don't want to be picky and say like they could win 54, but like I'll say over for the sake of this. I think they're gonna win a lot of regular season games.
Oklahoma City Thunder,
I think it's
Knicks,
Cavs, Magic in the Eastern Conference.
What's that?
Now, like in no order, it's Knicks, Cavs, Magic.
Yeah.
No order, but who knows?
Oklahoma City Thunder, big number at 62.5.
That's a huge. I didn't think it. Under. It's a huge number.
Big number.
Yeah.
I'll go under too. They'll manage things in the regular season.
Yeah, because they're the champs.
Stay healthy. Be healthy for the playoffs. So
you see a lot from champions in different leagues. Like they just start to like after they win the champion, not like a hang or like a honeymoon, but they just chill. Like they're gonna be like, we know where we can get to, so let's just chill out until the regular season. I mean, till the postseason, and then we'll get our guns ready.
I agree
Like,
with that. I
like
think they're
because
going to
you see
manage
it a
things
lot
in
of
the regular
sports.
season.
Like we talked about the Dodgers, whatever, not to cross sports. Dodgers, we see it from, Eagles. Not like the Eagles may just stink, whatever. Who knows? But you see that. I mean, so yeah, that's every team.
The last team, the New York Knicks at
Oh
53 and
yeah,
a half.
I said it was at every team. Like I forgot. I generally forgot. What 53 and a half?
Yeah. So 53 wins would be
Oh,
29 losses.
over.
You're confident in that?
100%. Yeah, not 100%. Whoa. Never say that on a podcast.
No, you can say it.
That is
The
not.
longer the take, the better.
No, I think that I'm 99% sure Knicks go over that because I just feel like I just am envisioning the end of the regular season standings. Not like I'm a regular season it kind of matters, doesn't really, but like I'm think the Knicks win them over that, and I think they're really there with I think the Cavs make it, or the Cavs make it the 1, the Knicks make it the 2, and I think the Magic get the 3. That's my prediction. If I'm right now, I get tied up and say you need to give me your prediction.
The Knicks won 50 games last year, and the
They
East is
have
weaker this year. The Knicks are just as good or maybe a little better than last year. I'll go over as well. Again, to go from 50 wins over 53 and a half, you got to win 4 more. Like, I think the Knicks have 4 more wins in them. I think it's going to be slight. I don't think it'll go way over, but 54, 55, I'll go over.
Yeah, I think also, you played the Celtics, a lot. Like, think about it like that. You play the Celtics, a lot, and that's games that were losses, maybe losses last season become wins. Losses, right? Yeah. Losses, we definitely,
There's a few more wins there because the East is weaker, and the Celtics are the biggest part of that, and then the Indiana Pacers as well.
Yeah, I mean, what were the 0-8 stat? I mean, I think a lot of those teams are still going to be.
I mean, the Knicks were 0-4 against the Celtics in the regular season. Yeah. So let's say they go 3-1 this year.
4 games over. Yeah. I don't think they sweep. They're not going to sweep. But you know what I'm like? Yes, 3-1, and they definitely lost the Pacers at least once. So that's
So I'm with you. I think the Knicks, not by a lot, but I think they go over 53 and a half. So Jack, give us who's going to make the Eastern Conference Finals, who's going to make the Western Conference Finals, who's going to be in the NBA Finals, who wins the NBA title.
Give me Nick. I'm going to start on the East because that's off the Knicks. Magic. Ooh, no, not Magic. Knicks. What? Knicks, Cavs. I think the Cavs finally. I think the East is so weak. I think they finally get over the hump. Like, not over the hump to down, they get into the conference finals. For them, that's the hump. And I'm thinking Thunder, of course, and I'm thinking Thunder Timberwolves. I think that Anthony Edwards beats the Rockets. Not like he's not like he's the whole entire team. Not like that. But I think his competitive drive and that team. I think I've always said great things about that team. Thunder Timberwolves. Give me Thunder Knicks, and I think the Knicks are going to win the chip.
I'll go Cavs Knicks. I consider the Magic, but I think the Magic will be the 3 seed, so they'll play the Knicks in the second round. The Knicks will beat the Magic. You'll have Cavs Knicks. I mean, Cavs are just going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals by default.
Yeah, that's them getting over the hump. Whatever. I mean, who cares?
I guess it's kind of a hump, but they got to get to the NBA Finals
Well,
or
yeah,
or else
like
their
in
season
that
is a mess.
context, in the context of the East, in the context of the East of what it is, that's definitely they don't really care. They shouldn't care about getting the. I mean, the Eastern Conference.
I
Is
get what
not,
you're saying because they haven't been there in a while, so it's kind of getting over the hump. And then
but
in the West,
context matters, yeah.
the
Of what?
West, I mean, the Thunder are going to be there. And then just to be different, I'll go with the Nuggets. I don't trust the
Yeah,
Rockets. I'm not picking them. I'll go with the Nuggets to go on a run in the
I don't
playoffs.
trust Kevin Durant led number one option scoring team. Like I don't know. Like at his age, I really don't trust that.
Yeah, I agree.
But
So
I think
then,
they're going to be a really good regular season team, and who knows? Yeah. But I
yeah,
think
the Thunder. Go ahead.
what's your opinion on Timberwolves? Like, were you thinking about them or?
I like they could easily get to the conference finals. I just went something different, instead
Yeah.
of us having the same four teams. They could easily pick the
No,
Timberwolves, but I'll go with Denver. They've been there. I can see them getting to the conference finals, but I think the Thunder are too good for them. So the Thunder
I was
get
just
back to
saying
the
if you're
NBA finals.
if you were also like thinking about the Timberwolves as well in that thing, I think that they're a team.
Well, I
Too.
trust them more than the Rockets. I'm not picking
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Rockets. And then look in the East, Cavs, Knicks. Like I guess it's just Knicks history, which isn't fair, but it's not unreasonable to bring it into the equation. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, the Knicks have not won a championship since 1973. They haven't been in the finals since 1999. There's massive pressure there. Like it's big time pressure for the Knicks to get to the NBA finals and then to win a championship. And that's the expectation, is to at least get to the finals. And, probably a lot of fans, it's the expectation is to win the championship. So I just think with the pressure, I don't like the coaching change. I don't trust the Cavs. It's kind of like the Cavs and the Knicks are going to be there, but I'm just going to go with the Cavs because I feel like the Knicks are going to mess it up. And again, maybe that's unfair to this Knicks team, but once they made the coaching change, I was just like, oh, it was a James Dolan decision. He didn't like Thibodeau for whatever his reasons were. It seemed like an impulsive decision. Actually, no, I take that back. Not impulsive, an emotional decision. Not impulsive, but an emotional decision. Dolan didn't like Thibodeau. I think it's something he had in the works and wanted to do. And then he made that decision after they lost to the Pacers in the conference final. So once he made that call, I'm like, James Dolan, here we go. The Knicks will have a very good regular season. They'll be in the conference finals. But again, I'm just going to go with the Cavs because I don't trust the Knicks. So that's Cavs Thunder, and I'm going to pick the Thunder to take care of the Cavs and win back-to-back NBA titles.
It's going to be interesting. I think the Knicks team does have question marks around them, and we'll see. I think this season's big for them. I mean, it
Yeah, and
always
again,
is.
with that Eastern Conference Finals, it's two teams in there that I don't trust for different reasons. I just always get a bad feeling about the Knicks. Like something's gonna happen, and again, freaking Dolan. Maybe it's again like it's not really analytical, but I just I'm using that as my way of deciding the Cavs Knicks matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think the Thunder will beat whoever wins the East. But I think they'll really take care of the Cavs.
Yeah, Thunder are really good. We'll see. I just don't want to admit that Thunder will beat the Knicks, but we'll see. So
Yeah, so it kicks off Tuesday. NBA's back. NHL's in full swing. NFL's clearly in full swing. And then Major League Baseball, we're down to the Final Four. So there's a ton going on. October's the best sports month, in my opinion. I mean, March is close, but October, I think, is the best sports month. So, we got a lot of action going on, Jack.
Okay. See you guys next time.
See ya.